Alrighty, we are about to head out. We have been in town for the last 4 days. We transitioned over here to the Super 8 last night, and it was a nice place to stay. We had adjoining rooms with Bullfrog and Angel, and it's really good to be reunited with them. Say good morning, everybody.
Morning.
Okay, it's kind of funny because I point up there, and then I point down there. That's kind of funny. But we're heading. Oh, don't forget our little grape juices over here. And we're sacking up and ready to roll. So we'll talk to you on the trail in a little bit. We're trying to do about 10 or 11 miles today. So we'll see you soon. Well, it's nice to be back in the woods. And it's nice to be reunited with our trail family. There they are. Gavin's coming up here in the back. He's going slowly this morning, but we all know that's going to change. We're all heading out with a lot of water today because once again, we've got a trail with not much on the water source department. So we're gonna take it easy and slow today. This is hands down the latest we started. It's 11:34, but we're only doing 10 today. So we'll be there by the late afternoon, and we'll be glad to get to the shelter and sit down and relax. It's gonna be a difference for Gavin and me because I was just thinking, we've spent the last 5 nights indoors because we stayed at Four Pines Hostel, and then we did the crazy, ridiculous 26.2 day into town. And we spent 3 nights with Beth and Griffin and Aunt Sally and her crowd. And then we transitioned over to a different hotel last night so that we could get reunited with Angel and Bullfrog and leave out of town together. So it's going to be an odd thing sleeping in a shelter or in a tent tonight in the heat with no air conditioning, but it'll all be good. One of the things I'm thankful for is there's a really good outfitter here. I'm sure he's really thankful for me too. We went down there the other day and Gavin and I both got some new shoes. I bought a new backpack because I had outgrown the one that I had, or not outgrown, but undergrown. I've lost so much weight that the hip belt didn't cinch up anymore. And let's see, what else did I get? Oh, I got a 40-degree quilt, which is kind of like a little sheet that I'll just cover up with at night. It doesn't zip up like a sleeping bag, but it does have a little compartment down at the feet that I can tuck my feet into it. It'll also tuck over the bottom of my sleeping pad so it doesn't get pulled off at night. And I'm really interested to see how that works because I'm more than very tired of sitting in my sleeping bag sweating at night. So kind of excited about that. And we went back out to the outfitters this morning and I bought a new pillow to replace one that I sent home that was kind of heavy and bulky, and some stuff to do surgery on my water bladder with. And it's just kind of like starting out new. I'm having to learn how to repack my backpack to get everything in there. And I think the way I have it packed right now, I'm not sure I really like that. But it'll be a process for a few days of taking things out and putting things back in, figuring out what works and what doesn't, and we'll get it all figured out. So we're heading out through the woods and we'll talk to you real soon. Well, we're making our way. We are about to cross under Interstate 81 again. We'll go down this way, but right there is, that's the interstate. We're gonna go down and around. We were trying to sort this out a few days ago while we were riding around town, where exactly we were gonna cross it or whatever. Well, it's right here. That's where it is. So we're all good. Go straight up and down. We are moving right along. We're making adjustments to our packs and our gear and the way that we've got our packs packed and trying to get the weight situated and riding well. 3 out of the 4 of us are nursing new shoes today. So we're kind of like first day hikers, it seems like, because we've been in town together, and I've been in town for 4 days. So this is a whole new thing for us. But it feels okay. And it feels right to be outside. That's the neat thing. because it feels good, but I would like to get back in the trees where it's not quite so hot. That would be awesome to be back in the tree line, but I think we're going there here just shortly. They don't have many trees right here at the interstate. So, on up the trail, we'll talk to you soon. Alrighty, we are heading into Troutville, or heading by Troutville, coming off, crossing the road here. And this is a really pretty little section right here. I guess town's just one way or the other. And I guess we get to play Frogger as we go across the road here and try to skip over the cars. We'll wait for a break and see if we can get at least halfway across at one whack, or maybe see what we can do here. I believe I wouldn't step out in front of that big truck there. But honk honk. But trail goes back into the woods right there. So all right, so we are standing here by this thing right here, and we're trying to sort this out. We got 3 3s, but then we saw this rock. That's a decimal point, and that's a percentage sign. This is the 33 1/3% mark of the trail. We are 1/3 of the way along. Woohoo! Woo! Oh, and it's a math person. There's the bar over the 3. It is repeating.
Oh my gosh.
That is awesome.
Wow.
That is awesome. Nobody but me would notice that. 33.3 bar percent of the trail, 1/3 of the way, and that's pretty daggum awesome. And we're getting stronger every day. It is so wonderful to have our group back together because we're laughing and we're having a good time and we're hiking strong. Yeah, but body odor didn't count for everything, right? So anyway, yes, we stink. It was kind of funny when Beth picked us up the other night. Gavin and I had only been on trail for a day since the shower. Go ahead, bud. And, you know, we had showered on Thursday evening before we went to supper, and we got on the trail Friday morning, and they picked us up, and they immediately rolled the windows down. It was bad. And the really bad part about it is we've been hiking and smelling, and yeah, we've been hiking and smelling for so long that just taking a shower doesn't necessarily relieve all the odor. And we're crossing the railroad tracks and headed back into the coolness of the woods. But we'll sort that out when we get along the way. I guess for right now, hikers hike and hikers stink. Well, the trail just spit us out in this field. And we're gonna meander along. There's Angel and Bullfrog up and over the crest there. And somebody has been nice to us again. They have mowed out a path, and that's really nice for whomever the landowner is, or whomever it is that maintains this section, to knock down the weeds on either side so we're not walking through waist-high grass. That feels really nice. Not looking forward to being out in the sun, but I bet we'll have some really nice views from the little top of that little hill right there. So that part I am looking forward to. Alrighty, so now I'm videoing here for a minute, and it is great to be back with Bullfrog. Gavin, are you all right there, bud? I'm sorry. This is the ridge line that Gavin and I came across coming into town. Well, we all did coming into town the other day. And as you go across, this is Brushy Mountain. We did that. And then this one right here, that is McAfee Knob.
Probably shouldn't have hit
And then
the
as you come across over here, over Angel's Head, which you can't see because she's not in the, there she is. Okay, so this one right out here is Tinker Cliffs. And we've done all of that, and that's pretty remarkable. I'm glad to have Bullfrog because he's got a better sense of direction than I have, and he sees and notices things like this that I don't see. So it's awesome to have him along with us. Hello. Well, we've made it almost to the first shelter. We're at the turnoff, and we're gonna stop here and eat. It's 2 o'clock, 2:09. So I have no idea what our pace has been because I really don't know how far we've come. But it's been a fairly straightforward walk today. We've been going uphill most of the day, but it's been very gradual. Switchbacks and small climbs, and it's not been very taxing. It's, for both of us, it's been kind of hard to get back in the saddle after being in town for as long as we've been. But we're gonna make it. We got, I think not too terribly far, 4 or 5 miles to go on to the next shelter, I think, maybe 6. I don't think it's that far. So we'll see how things are, but we're gonna go up here and eat a bite. And with luck, there'll be some water here, but I think there's probably not. But we'll hope so. And then we'll head on down the trail. So we'll see you shortly. Well, we have arrived at our lunch stop. This is an interesting place. Full Heart Knob Shelter. It's got room for probably 6 or 8. Nobody here but us, but we're not staying, we're just eating. So it's kind of nice to get in the shade. We were hoping to find a water source here. They do have a nice picnic table, except for that spot there in the middle that's a little bit soiled. And anyway, the water source is, it's not working for us right now, but it's a clever idea. We'll go around behind the shelter. So the rainwater collects and drains into the gutter and goes into this cistern right here. And then about 10 or 15 yards down the trail, there's a little pump handle where you can open up the cistern and get water if there's water in the system. But right now there's no water there because it's not been raining very much. So we've got about 3.5 miles to go, but I think we're all in decent enough shape to make it that far. So we'll see you up the trail here just a little bit. We're going to be heading on out just shortly. Well, heading on down the trail after lunch. Not a whole lot to see, but the mountain laurels are nice. They're blooming. Yeah, there's a bee right there working. How about that? How about that? There's a little honeybee working on the mountain laurels. It's the little things that you see out here that make you appreciate being here. Yeah, my feet hurt a little bit and it's hot and I'm sweaty, but I'm seeing things that I wouldn't ordinarily see. Spending time with folks that I wouldn't normally meet, except for Gavin. And you know, the time that he and I are spending together is pretty cool because he's learning from me, I'm learning from him. It's been a blessing to watch him mature as a hiker. And it's also been a blessing to see him interacting with other folks on the trail. You know, I've had more than a few folks to say, it's, you know, sitting down and chatting with him is just like talking with an adult, and that's always been the case. He's a reader, a voracious reader, and he's got a good vocabulary. He knows the right words to use, and he can really sit down and have a conversation if it's something that he's interested in, and that's been kind of cool. But anyway, we're heading to a water source, which was, I guess, about 3.5 miles from the last shelter, since the cistern was emptied there. It's not really rained much, I don't think, here lately. I think we had a little bit of a thunderstorm the other night, but it wasn't significant. So we're hoping that the next water source is not dried up, because we can all refill our water bladders and make sure that we've got plenty for the afternoon hike, because it's going to be warm, but we'll all be good. Well, I just came across this blowdown. It used to live right there beside the trail, and everything, roots and rocks and lock, stock, and barrel, just tipped right over the trail. It's kind of a neat thing to see that you know, the root structure of that tree was so close to the surface, and that I guess it just never did dig down, and it just blew right over. That's a pretty big tree here too. It's probably 18 inches across or better. Maybe more than that, maybe 2 feet. It's a big one. Glad I wasn't here when that fell. That would make a really bad day, and I think there's another one right down there. Interesting. Well, we're still wandering off towards water in the next half mile or so. That's going to be the highlight. And boy, it's going to be a highlight. It's hot out here today. Started with 3 liters, and I've got about 1 liter left, maybe. So I'm going to probably avail myself of the water opportunity when we get to it. And that'll set us up, or set me up to make it almost to the shelter. I'm not sure that there's going to be water at our shelter tonight, so we'll stop about 1/2 or 3/4 of a mile out from the shelter, I think, and fill up everything we got just to make sure that we've got enough for tonight. So we'll talk to you shortly. Well, I realize that I haven't videoed very much today, and we haven't come across the mountain stream of the day anyway until just now. And this is going to be our water source probably for the shelter. I think we're about 1/2 mile from the shelter. We're trying to decide whether to camel up here or to trust that there might be some water at the shelter. So we're not really sure exactly which way we're going with this, but we're about 1/2 mile from the shelter, and we'll head on up that way here shortly.